What is up, everybody? Welcome back to it. Welcome back to an all new. They're all new. It's not all new. Yakin with Yukon. Good to have you guys here. How's everybody's weekend? We've already been. No, it's not a tornado. The date on YouTube shows tomorrow. Oh, that's not good. No, not a tornado. No, it's that we just had to get things working good for you, fine people. So, how's everybody doing? Michael Cherry, what's up? Gary's Grails, Rolando, JMC, Matt about toys. Matt, hey guys, if you haven't, I've said this a couple times on Instagram, but congratulate Matt. 1,000 subs. Congratulations, man. Very well earned. Matt about toys, guys. If you haven't checked him out, if you haven't subbed, I think everybody here has. But if you haven't, go check out Matt about toys. Great YouTuber, man. Super proud of you. So good job, buddy. Way to go. Payne's Toy Samples, what's up, man? T3, I have no idea why he would show tomorrow. It's not supposed to be tomorrow. Windy Billy Figs, what's up? AEW, all right, cool. All right, so there we go. So, EC, what's up, Colin? All right, so today, a lot of you guys know this guy from the group chat that we're in Instagram, Darthlvj. Cool guy, does a lot of good customs. Really into Star Wars, got a lot of good stuff. Him and I have actually never talked before, so this is going to be a me getting to know him better too. So a lot of you guys probably know him better than I do, but this is what this show's about, getting to know your fellow YouTubers, your fellow collectors better. So that is what we are going to do, my friends. So let's get to it without any further ado. Let me cue up his music, and we'll bring him in.
Whoa, I have entry music?
Everybody has entry music, man. You come on this show, you get entry music. That's how it works.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good, man. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Like I said before, we have never talked personally, so this is cool.
Yeah.
We kind of get to know
all
each other.
Chat correspondence, all text
Chat
correspondence.
Yeah. Exactly. So, how you doing, man? How's your weekend been?
Good, man. Short. They're always so damn short.
Tell me about it. Horribly short.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it's Sunday night, and you're like, crap. Here we go again.
Did you have tornadoes? I heard you talking about tornadoes. Someone mentioned tornadoes in the chat.
Yeah. So last Sunday, I actually had to cancel the show because I had a tornado hit about 2 miles from me. We had about 15 touchdown in the Oklahoma City metro area, and town 30 minutes south of me actually got hit, and it tore up an entire neighborhood.
Wow, that's horrible.
It was insane. But
yeah, we Friday. That's how I started my weekend, with tornado watches, and there was a couple that hit in South Georgia, but that was nothing too bad.
Okay. So you're in South Georgia?
I'm like 45 minutes north of Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys have been getting it a little bit more the last couple of years. It seems like it's like everything's shifted down a little bit from where it usually is, and you guys have seen your good share of those, haven't you?
Yeah. The weather's been kind of kooky lately.
Yeah, it's insane. Well, I mean, it's that time of the year, and what are you gonna do? I mean, go in your storm shelter. That's all you can really do. So, all right. Well, we're gonna get to the questions here 1 minute. JJ, what's up, my buddy? Good to have you, man. And let's see. I think we welcomed everybody else. Yes, we did. All right. So, I want you to tell me about yourself because, like I said, we don't really know each other. So let's just start with the collecting. When did you start collecting? What got you into it? And was there any lulls in it? And what got you back?
Oh, there was a large lull. Yeah, there was a large lull.
All right.
I think I was I still have things from when I was a kid. I have bins of items I was always a collector. If I didn't keep things from when I was a kid, it's because my mom threw them away when I was in school.
Gotcha.
And or my sister's dogs got to them when I was in school. But probably a lot of He-Man, a lot of Joes went that way. But yeah, I've always into collecting. And then once I started having a family, started pretty early. I started when I was 20. And then you become, it's all work, it's all providing the family. Right. So I started putting it would go further there it was always there, but it started going further into the back burner as years went on.
Mhm.
And I think, and then COVID hit. Well, I had two of my oldest children finally grow up and move out of the house. So I only have one left now, one 13-year old left who still lives with me. But being that the amount of children were less in my house and I was responsible for a less amount of people,
Right.
and then COVID was such a weird time. It really sparked up those old interests, and I went real, right back at it, and like 10 times as hard,
Sure.
and built back the collection. Started displaying. I was a closet collector my whole life. My whole life. I wasn't. I found the toy community and the Instagram toy community about less than a year, almost a year ago, a little less than a year ago.
Okay. All right.
And when I started getting into this community is when I started kind of stepping out of that closet, and I bought my first set of detoffs, and I started buying shelves and I started displaying, and then the fever hit and it hasn't died down. Let's put it that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the go-to for you? What's your line? I know you and I collect a couple of same lines, but what's the go-to line for you right now?
Um, I don't say no to anything Black Series unless it's a repaint.
Yeah, which there's plenty of those
Yeah,
nowadays, isn't there? Yeah.
which is plenty of those, which is okay, because although they bother me, at least it's something that I could get to say I'm not going to buy it.
Sure.
I'll let somebody else in their collection, let them buy that. But Black Series is number one. Anything Star Wars, basically, and then Marvel Legends, DC Multi. A lot of the McFarlane universe now more than ever. I had a lot of the Mattel stuff, but the McFarlane stuff is just they're doing so well, in my opinion,
Right.
and the prices are so good, so I can't say no to that stuff. And then your one hit wonders like NECA here, NECA there, depending on what releases. But that's probably the top three times. That's probably, like, I would say it's the order will be uh, Black Series, Marvel Legends, DC Multiverse, and then you got your filler stuff, which ends up 9 times out of 10 ends up being like NECA.
Sure. Okay. And I've seen a lot of your customizations, which are great, man. How long have you been dabbling in doing custom figures for?
Not I don't. I'm flattered that you find that's my stuff interesting, but I really just started getting off the ground with that kind of stuff. And just so you know, just so that I'm gonna give credit where it's due, the artist is my wife.
Oh, gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
give her the idea, and I tell her what I want, and I find her the stuff, and I pretty much get everything we need, and then she puts the actual paintbrush onto its canvas, if you want, so to speak.
Nice. So you got a tag team going. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome, man. So are you enjoying that? Is there anything else that you're probably going to go with that? Have you ever thought about doing dioramas, or are you kind of just happy with the way it's going right now?
No, we're about to step. The wife and I are going to take a step here, and we're going to probably purchase a 3D printer,
Nice.
and we're about to take that leap into going really hard on, and not for us per se, but now that I see what her and I are capable of, um, I know what the toy community wants.
Right.
She could execute it. So our combined forces, I think we might make it to a nice little side business.
Nice. Very
But
exciting.
that's where we're really thinking about going.
Cool. Cool. And
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't have a YouTube channel, right?
No, no. So I belong to a crew of there's 10 of us toy collectors. It's called the Legacy Collectors,
Yes.
and we do Instagram lives every Tuesday at 6:30, every Friday at 6, and we're starting to build an audience, and then we're going to move that over to YouTube
Gotcha.
eventually.
Cool.
But it's a partner. It's me partnering with this larger group of a little toy clique, if you want to say
Okay.
it that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. How long have you guys been doing that for?
I not long. Again, I mean, I turned on my Instagram page. I want to say I turned on my Instagram page. I'm not a social media guy. Like I said, I was a closet collector, so I'm not. I wasn't very out in the forefront of things.
Right.
But probably turned on my toy page, the Darthlvj IG page, about 8 or 9 months ago, and I've been steadily getting about 100 followers a month.
Man.
So
Nice.
I'm just shy. I'm in 990 something. I'm like right around. Anybody in the chat, please follow. I'm
Hey,
right about to hit that 1K. I'm right
if
around
you
to hit that
haven't done
1K.
it, follow him now. Get him to 1,000. Get him 1,000 by the end of the show.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Though, yeah. So that stuff's exciting. So because we could get those people over to the Legacy Collectors page, and then we can start doing the YouTube and stuff. And I plan to do a live. Toy Lantas later on this month,
Right.
and I probably plan to do like an all day live
Okay. So
event.
what's the agenda for the lives and stuff for you guys? Like what are the topics of conversation and that sort of thing? Can you kind of give us
I think it's literally just hanging out and talking toys.
Okay.
There's really we have of what our latest pickups were, what's going on right now, what are the reveals might be out there, what are we thinking about getting, what are we not getting, how has Hasbro pissed us off this week?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know that's a love-hate relationship with Hasbro, right? You know, we love their stuff, but we hate to love them. So,
Right. That is for sure.
but we still buy it. So, who's the real sucker, right?
Well, exactly.
So I mean, it's just that it's just down to earth guys just talking. You know, basement talk. Nothing in particular. We really don't plan an agenda. We don't really plan a topic. You're probably much more organized at that than we are. We pretty much just go live and say, hey, what pickups did you have this week? Did you have any pickups? No. What are you planning to pick up? Well, you know what's going on right now in the toy community. Hey, did you guys see McFarlane revealed this next wave, or Marvel Legends revealed this next wave? You know, what do you guys think about that? And talk about that. Bash it, either bash it or talk about it. And what's cool about it, there's so many of us in the group, is that we all have something very specific that we're into.
Okay, good.
So that could lead into really fun conversations sometimes, because we could get competitive with each other. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, you're, why is black? They know how I am about Black Series. Some guys are really big on wrestling. I don't collect any wrestling. I don't know anything about collecting guys in underwear. So see, but I say things like that, and then it sparks up the chat.
Oh yeah,
it heats things up, so it's pretty fun.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, that sounds like a great time. Very excited to see. I'll have to check that out. I've never checked that out. I did see that on your Instagram that you had that, but I didn't get a chance to check it out. So very cool. I'll definitely tune into you guys' lives, because sounds great.
Thank you.
So let's talk about. Actually, I wanted to ask you, Darthlvj. Can you give us the backstory on your name?
That's cool, because once things started, once I became more public, right, and I was going to put myself out there more publicly. I started to think, is my handle a good enough handle? And there is a bit of history with it. I used to, back in Miami. So I was raised in Miami. Born and raised in Miami. I've only been in Georgia for a decade now, but everything else has been Miami. And back in Miami, when we were younger, I remember it was school, and on the weekends going to your local arcade. If anybody's watching The Last of Us, I don't know if anybody's watching that show, but that most recent episode of The Last of Us, except for the one that came out today, I don't know spoilers, but if you see that arcade, that's the kind of arcade that I'm talking about. Like, you going in there, getting a bucket of quarters,
right?
Getting a few dollars and changing that out for quarters or tokens, and and just hitting the arcades. And so whenever I won a top score, I would put in my initials, which were LVJ.
Gotcha.
So that's Luis Velez Jr., LVJ. And it looked kind of cool because it's the L, the V. So it looked good on the screen, and that's kind of what I just did with the initials, and that was my gaming background back in the day with the arcades. And Darth, I just added the Darth part to put in my love for Star Wars.
Nice. Very nice. Cool.
So it's simple. It is nostalgic for me, but some people find it weird. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because when you see names like that, you're like, you want to know the backstory behind it.
And
I saw your back. I was like, man, I want to know that. That was the first thing. I was like, I want to know what the LVJ means. I know what the Darth means, but I didn't have any idea what the LVJ means. So that's cool.
Very simple enough as my initials, just my initials. Yeah.
There you go. Those were the good old days when you used to go take $20, get the bucket of quarters. What was your go-to game in the arcade?
Marvel versus Capcom.
Okay, good one. Yep.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh which Mortal Kombat?
All of them. 1 and 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I was addicted to Ultimate.
Yeah. I think for me, it was Mortal Kombat, but there was just Marvel versus Capcom was just amazing. Yeah.
Long lines. I remember when I was a kid, we had a strip mall, and same thing. Long lines to get to Mortal Kombat, long lines to get Marvel Capcom. Did you ever play?
Not if you're good. Not if you're good.
Yeah. Right.
Winner stays, collect. Loser pays.
Right. That's why the line.
That's how it is.
You get the
exactly.
Everybody's butt, and there you go.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly. Guys, in the chat, as usual, if you have any questions for Darthlvj as we're going along, please shoot them in. Joe from JMC Clicks, Donkey Kong. That's another good one too, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And then this brings up a question. So Payne's Toy Sample says he's attempted to get started 3D printing. So you did say, I'm sorry, I might have missed it, but did you say that you're going to start 3D printing?
Yeah, we're going to purchase a 3D printer, and I have a crap ton of STL files that I've already saved up that I can't wait to get started. From what I understand, the most difficult thing about 3D printer, I have a buddy of mine who's an avid 3D printer, and I have another guy who's actually has a business for it. But if you're going to do a business of 3D printer, you need more than one, obviously.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But from what I understand, the hardest part is to get the calibration right. Mm-hmm. And once you get the calibration right, which could be, and I don't know how you guys are with your patients, but I'm the kind of guy where things got to work right out of the box, and if they don't, I want to chuck it across the room.
Right, I get it.
But once you get the calibration right, it's smooth sailing from that point on.
Yeah, and it's really some amazing things. I don't know if you tune into Greg Cook. Greg Cook's building a 1/12 scale ATST right now. And he showed the interior of the cockpit of the ATST that he built today. The interior is, it looks better than it almost does on film. It's unbelievable what he's been able to do with his 3D printing, and what he's been able to make. It's unreal. So good luck with that. I think.
You can check on my. I purchased a very raw version of a 1/12 scale EOP from the Obi-Wan, an EOP, which is the pretty much like a space camel from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Mm-hmm. And so I bought it, kind of rough looking, and like I said, this is the magic of you knowing what you want, but then my wife having the ability to execute.
Right.
And we just sanded it down, and I think I paid $20 for the piece. Of course, it doesn't articulate or anything like that, but once we were done with it, once she painted it and once I added the finishing details, once we were done with it, it looked amazing. There's pictures of it on my Instagram, whoever wants to go over there and check it out. But it was then and there. She added details like a little bit of the snot coming out of its nose and some, the glare of its, the wetness of its eyes. All of those details are in that thing, and it just looks amazing. And it didn't take hard to do. So that's when we realized that we could be doing this ourselves. You know?
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
and you can bring to life things that you're not going to get from Hasbro. You're not going to
Right.
get a good. We've gotten a EOP, but not 12 scale. We've gotten
Right. Exactly.
3 3/4 inch one from that one thing was impossible to find for episode 1. But the other cool thing that I saw the other day was an STL file for the throne room, and it was a legit throne room where the stairs went up, and you had the
Yep.
consoles, and you had the
Yep.
good window and the throne, and
There's a lot of look. Lance Peter Luke, he's got a whole
he's
Patreon
phenomenal.
full of stuff,
Yes.
and he's got every time he gives stuff away for free, I go and I just go and save it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Honestly, what he does looks better than the Hasbro stuff because he's real. It's phenomenal what
For
he
sure.
can pull off.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And that's what I mean. I think if you had the ability to pump out things like that, and what you're paying for is the labor of love. It's the artistic render of that product. Lance Peter Luke, yeah, his 3D printer is doing the work for him, but his painting and him bringing it to life and for the Black Series figures that's what you're really paying for. So I get it, and that's why it's so valuable.
And he's given himself figures that he's never going to get out of Black Series. Let's just be honest. There's no way that some of the stuff that he does, Black Series, that's just not going to happen.
They're never going to do it. They're never going to do it. And it's almost understandable because some of it is it's really heavy, nerdy, geeky stuff.
Yeah,
it's
for
some of the stuff.
The 1 second character that if you blink, you missed it. And
yeah, exactly.
So, all right, cool. That's very exciting. Definitely want to check that out when you start doing that. So we'll definitely be tuning into you for that. So let's talk about Black Series for a minute. You and I had a little disagreement the other day.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? I forgot about that.
Yeah, we
did. We did.
I appreciate you being cool and just saying, pump the brakes, because I got a little bit of shit for that. I'll admit it. I got a little bit of crap for me saying that Black Series needs to die. Let me tell you why I said that before I did.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's okay.
The reason I say that is that it seems like it's run its course so far to the point where Hasbro is just going to do whatever they want. And they don't. The thing that caught my eye the most on their live.
What was the last straw though? What made you? What was the last straw for you?
When they get on there and they say that we're listening to the fans and that we hear you, and then they give out a carbonized Ned B.
Oh, the carbonized
Purge Trooper. That's like, okay, when you sit there and you say we're listening, then you show that right there proves that you're not listening. So that to me shows that we've been going downhill for so long now, and getting less and less for so long now, and not getting the things that we've asked for so long now. It's like, has it run its course? And that's really just the point I was trying to bring up. Maybe die is a strong word, but do you think that Black Series has run its course based on the tactics that Hasbro's doing right now?
Okay, so that's a loaded question. I'm going to break it down for you. Okay, you ready?
Right. Break it down.
All right. Okay, I'm going to break it down, and this is all speculative. Okay, this is my opinion.
Okay.
But I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm mute to the market, and I understand things, and I take everything with a grain of salt. But here we go. So first of all, Black Series may feel like it's gone to the point where it have run its course only because they pumped out so many figures. I'm looking over at my Star Wars detox when I say this, but they overdid it when they released the figure for the sequel movies, the sequel trilogy.
Absolutely, they did. Yes.
Okay, we can still find those greens every now and then.
Yep.
Okay, and the sequel trilogy's been gone for how long already? Yep. So that's Black Series was at its they were just starting off, and then the sequel trilogy hit, so they put all their chips into the sequel trilogy, and it wasn't something that sold very well. So I think as a toy company, as Hasbro, probably pumped the brakes on it, but then they started doing anniversary stuff for the Clone Wars, and that got everybody excited again. Right, and that's what really drew me back in. Was pretty much the ROTJ stuff, the ESB stuff. When they started going back, instead of focusing on the present, they started going back and re-releasing those archives. Um, that got me really excited. And Black Series is I everybody talks about Marvel Legends and about the pinless, double pinless joints, especially when it comes to Spider-Man figs and female figure bodies and stuff like that. They focus a lot on their Marvel Legends because they feel like those are the Hasbro feels that if it's going to pose a figure, it's going to be a Marvel figure and not a Star Wars figure. But people have been ignoring the fact that when Hasbro as a company increases the quality of their figures, they're not just doing it for one line; they're doing it across the board. You see it in the collection now with the anniversary sets that are coming out all in the snow. Of course, you see them in the Hasbro in the Spider-Man figures. They're all going to be what they call super articulated with the double pinless and then the double waist pivots and all that. But all that's been translating to Hasbro. I mean, Black Series, and I've been noticing it, and I don't like they're doing such a good job at marketing it. To me, Black Series has been increasing its quality, and there's a lot less QC issues that I've noticed with Black Series that I'm noticing with Marvel. It's just been, to me, they've just been hitting it back to back for me. It's just been one good fig after another. Their photo reel technology has increased immensely, and they're doing a good job. Now, the carbonized thing, yeah, I get why that upset a lot of people, and I don't take it away from them. How many of us did collect carbonized figures when they first came out?
When they first came out, a lot of people did. Yep.
And I'm one of them.
Mando was all the rage. The Mando was huge.
Right. Yeah, it still is. Its market value is still up there. And that's the problem, is that there is a niche of collectors. They see carbonized and they think it's something like higher end or special quality or one-time release. And so they purchase it. And they see, and Hasbro is a company like any other. They're going to go by numbers. Sure. So if people are purchasing their carbonized figures, why would they stop? Phil, they piss off Phil. They piss off me. I'm not going to get it. I get it. I'm with you, Phil. I'm not going to get it. I refuse to get it.
No.
Especially with the amount of Hasbro, with the amount of Black Series that I have on pre-order right now anyway. Right. From the Andor series and from everything else that's coming out, from from Mando now and all these things. But so I'm not going to bother with repaints. But why am I not bothering with repaints? It's because I am choosing to not spend all my money on. I'm refocusing on getting stuff I really and not stuff I really don't need. Sure. And repaints is number one on that, because the action figures prices are going up. I have to be more so if I'm going to stay in this. If I'm going to be part of this community, if I'm going to keep on with this hobby, and I'm going to be choosier. I'm going to be pickier, and so carbonized figures it's got to be something that I have to let go. But when they first came out, I was one of them that purchased all of them. So if you're on the Hasbro finance team and you say, how did the carbonized figures sell before? Well, they went through the roof. What's the resale value on those? Oh, they're through the roof. Why wouldn't they release more and more? I feel like the Shore Trooper that they did and the Scout and the Bike Trooper should have been a clue that people are starting to care less and less.
Oh yeah,
about
clearance,
especially
Yep.
Especially when you do a carbonized figure that's also a army builder. Mm-hmm. That's almost that's almost shooting yourself in the foot a little bit, because you want an army builder to look the same, not different.
Right.
That's
It
the whole
looks
purpose
weird
of
to
it
have
being
one shiny one and
right.
you got
Exactly.
50 of the good ones. You got one shiny one. It's like, well,
Exactly. So I mean, yeah. Do they make? They're going to continue to make calls as a company that I don't agree with, but I know that the problem is just that I know there are collectors out there. Okay, with everybody, Darth. I follow a lot of Black Series collectors on Instagram. When Hasbro released that 2 packs for $75, two carbonized figures that we've already received and we already have, um, the internet went crazy, right? Instagram went crazy on bashing Hasbro. But
yep.
do you know how many silent collectors are out there going to buy them?
Well, yeah, and for a couple of reasons. One, they don't want to get in there and say I'm going to buy it because they're going to get destroyed on
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
Two, I mean, it's really nobody's business what you collect. If you could collect what you like, I say
Whatever makes you
I
happy.
always
Whatever
whatever
makes you
makes you
happy.
if you have makes you happy, they did a poll. They did a poll on yakface.com where it said what percentage of people want to see carbonized are going to buy this set, what
Yeah,
percentage of people are not. 89 to 11 was the final tally.
yeah.
Okay.
I was part of the '89.
There you go. I was part of
Yeah,
the 89 as well. But
yeah,
I think there's some closet carbonized
yeah,
collectors that
yeah,
don't want the backlash and don't want the grief of saying,
yeah,
well, yeah, I kind of want to buy that. And if you want to buy
yeah,
that, knock your socks off. But my
yeah.
point is, does it feel would in your opinion, do you think Hasbro is listening to us as collectors? Or do you think
Well,
they're just kind of doing what they want?
Hasbro is stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and the rock being us, and the hard place being their executive, the executive table at Hasbro.
Definitely.
They have to make money, and they need to keep their fans happy. And that is sometimes that is a hard line to walk, very hard line to walk. Sometimes those two things don't agree with each other, like up the prices.
Yeah.
Um, and but it's things that I understand. It's things that I get, and I'm still going to collect them. I'm going to, but like I said, am I going to collect as much? No, I'm going to be choosier. I'm going to be more selective.
Right.
So repaints and carbonized, it's going to go away. But I'm very excited for the stuff that they released, that they revealed in the pipeline. That more clones, I'm going to get them. More, if they release more Clone War things, you got me there. When they start releasing specific characters, this last reveal on from Hasbro PulseCon that they released the ARC Trooper Jesse, and they revealed the Endor, that Endor army builder,
Hmm.
and the Ewok. That whole reveal, that to me, I think out of the 10 Black Series figures that were revealed, I'm probably picking up 8 of them.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about those things. Like they have, finally, we're getting more Ewoks. Finally, we're getting more um, ROTJ figures. That they were never. We're getting more Clone Wars figures. We're going to get figures that people want and never been released, and now they're going to come out with these new body modes that upgrade on the upgraded body modes, and so I'm excited about it. I want those figures. I want to add them to my DTOS. That's why when you said Black Series needs to die, at first it was whoa, 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 take it easy there, buddy.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't come at you aggressively or anything. This is one, you're entitled to your own opinion. Everybody
Right.
is, and two, I know you at the moment get real heated over something Hasbro did.
It's an
But
impulse.
then at the same time, but at the same time, they're going to do something later on that they're going to make us going to be like, oh wow, that's great.
Right. Right.
I'm going to be honest. Marvel Legends lately just hasn't been doing it for me.
Mhm. Well, they're
You
all
know,
sitting there going on clearance. I mean, that entire what if wave that's been at Target has been on clearance, half
right,
off,
right.
and they're not moving. They're not moving
Right.
anywhere.
Well, it just and then when they released all the X-Men stuff in those yellow and blue uniforms, none of that. Those X-Force uniforms, none of that really did anything for me. And instead of getting sick, but here's the thing. See, I guess I'm a silver lining type of guy because I said to myself, instead of getting mad at it, right? Oh, Marvel Legends, nothing's coming. Marvel Legends, and I'm interested. I almost do this. Thank God Marvel Legends doesn't
Save
have
some
anything.
money. I can save some
Yeah,
money. I can put it someplace
yeah,
else. Right, right.
yeah.
But
Maybe this month instead of buying a bunch of 112 shit, I'll go buy a hot toy. You know?
well, and as a collector, I did this. So I'll give you an example. I did this myself. I was looking at my masters. I do, still do. Masterverse and DC. I was looking at them the other day. I'm like, what do I need here? I
Yeah,
cut each collection over in half. Got rid of them. Sticking with the
yeah.
stuff that really means something to me, really does good. Take that money, apply it to something else. I found a bunch of
Right.
Black Series this weekend. I'm buying Black Series still, and applied it to that.
Yeah,
So it's like, you
yeah.
know, but like what I was saying before, I appreciate your comment because I got called a crybaby. I got called a clown. And it's like that's the stuff that gets things heated and gets stuff to the point where it's like people
That's a
have a
toxic.
problem. It's
There's
toxic.
always
Exactly.
toxicity in any
Yeah.
community, right? And there's plenty of toxicity in this community. But man, I am the one guy out there that's upset by what somebody else says because words really do not do anything to me, you know, because I'm in community for, let's face it, we're not visiting each other, checking out our own,
Yep.
everybody's like, I'm not going over to Phil's house and seeing what you got. You're not coming over to my house. Like what you buy has nothing to do with me and what I buy has nothing to do with you. So I mean, who cares what you think?
Well,
I'm
and
really, or what. I'm not saying what Phil thinks. I'm saying what in what anybody's opinion is in general. I'm just going to purchase like or not purchase what I don't like and keep it moving, man. And being and just be have the fun part of the community and the fun part of collecting is to get stuff that makes you excited, that makes you happy. You add it to your collection, and then you can have communities like this where you go on and say, "Phil, man, did you see this new Trooper that Black Series released? This is a badass model.
yep.
This is, it comes with a ridiculously big gun, but the
Yeah.
Trooper itself is really cool. You know."
Yep.
Then we could be like, "Yeah, I checked that out," or "No, I'm not going to get that one because of this," or whatever. And positive, just be positive with it. You know, that's my whole thing.
I get it.
That's the part of the community where that why I'm excited to be part of it. What got me out of the closet for it. That's why I joined the group. Um, that's why I'm so public now, and because I want to do, I want to be part. I want to pay attention to the part of this journey of this community of toy collecting that makes me happy.
Yep. And you obviously have done your homework. You obviously know your stuff by what you're telling me and what you're telling us. So I'm glad that you're expressing your voice, and I'm glad that you're coming out here and coming on shows like this, and you're giving us an idea of what you're about because that just helps things, man. So kudos to you. Very
Thank
cool,
you,
man.
thank you,
Very cool.
appreciate it.
Let me get back to the chat real quick. I got to welcome
Sure,
a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
guys who have rolled in. Geekstraw, what is up, Dean? How you doing, man? Dean will be on this show in the coming weeks. LeBron
Cool.
Fett, he's our guest next week. So
LeBron's a good guy.
LeBron's a great guy. Yes, he is. And then we also got, I saw some others. Legacy and Nerd, what is up, Daniel? How you doing, man?
Daniel.
Rolando, what's up, buddy? And let me get to a couple of comments here. Okay, so Michael Cherry, who's a local guy here, him and I have met a couple times at Walmart and seen each other. He says part of the appeal was also the special packaging. I totally agree. I really thought that when Carbonize came out, it was really geared to inbox collectors more as opposed to out of box collectors. Because, like what we said before, it's weird to have one carbonized
Shiny Trooper.
stormtrooper with your
Yeah,
shiny trooper with your other 50. So I think that's was the original intent was to have it as an inbox type of, it's a gimmick. Let's be honest, it's a gimmick. Let's
but
have
then
it as an
windowless.
inbox. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. The windowless takes it completely out of the game, which is
yeah.
again is Hasbro listening? Because if most people who collect carbonize are inbox collectors, it does absolutely no good for you at all with no windowless. So
Yep.
there we
Yep.
go.
Yep.
And let's see.
I
There's
want
a
to beat that
couple
dead
others.
horse, but I'm going to tell you, I will say the one thing that I've gone triggered on is the windowless pack. and that's because I've been a victim of figure swap several times already.
Mhm.
Several times.
Was that on
Um,
Black Series or was that on Legends or was it just kind of all over the place?
all over the place.
Okay.
All over the place. It happens immense. Like it happened almost every day. I got to the point where I was just opening the box in the store, and I just stopped caring, and I opened the box in the store because I was trying to finish the Khonshu bath, and figure swaps everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
that's
was
the
tough.
part
That was tough.
that's what's really frustrating because I've only bought a
Yeah,
couple, haven't had that issue yet, but I'm expecting it sooner than later. And it's like I think it's going to get everybody in time. And again,
yeah.
it's like there's such an uproar. That's one of between that and the price hikes. I think those are the two biggest uproars right now, rightfully so.
Well, I'm
It's
going to tell you. And Carlos T3 knows. You know T3, Carlos.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
We went. Him and I went on a rant about this, but uh, I discovered Target employees. I was able to uncover that Target employees were doing the figure swaps in the back
doesn't surprise me a bit.
to make it look as if you would have never known. The unsuspected victim would have never known. And that's why I'm not even, I won't leave the store without opening a box.
Well, the same thing's happened at Amazon too. I saw one the other day where a guy bought a 4-pack. Can't remember what the 4-pack.
The
Oh,
three pack Venom, the 3-pack of the Venom.
that's the one. Yep, he
Yeah,
has
that
bottomed
guy.
out with a
Yeah,
bunch of 5
I
POA crap.
I couldn't
And
believe it when I first saw it. I saw his video. I was watching his video, and I almost like, no way, this isn't real. No way, he did this. He did this for the clout. And then I'm watching, and I could hear the pain in his voice, and I'm like,
it's legit.
it's legit.
It was
They got
legit.
him. They
Yep,
got
we
him.
got him. Yep, yep. All right, Dean says Hasbro's getting boring to collect lately. I've been excited collecting vintage 70s and 80s. I'm actually with Dean on that one. I've been building up my retro vintage TMNT collection a little bit and stuff. Is that
That's
something
cool.
you've dabbled in? Have you gotten into back into vintage at all, or is it more modern for you right now?
No, I sold all my vintage stuff off.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I had lots of vintage stuff that was worth a lot of money. I sold. I did a lot of whatnots and got a lot of for it. I did Macari's and got a lot of for it. I got rid of a lot of vintage and third party lines because I wanted to focus on the modern
Okay,
Black Series Legends, DC Multiverse, and stuff like that.
sure, sure. Okay, cool. And then Carlos, our buddy, says Black Series doesn't need to die. It needs a better PR team. I will agree with that, but it also needs better leadership. It needs better CEO. It needs a guy who's not just, find me a CEO that's not hell bent on money. I'll fall down flat fainting. But I think it needs. Okay, so let me give you an example on this. If you look at now, I understand licensing. If you look at GI Joe, you buy a GI Joe figure, you get all these accessories. You buy a Star Wars figure, you get one accessory. It is a
Yeah,
little bit of a kick in the gut to buy
no
this.
hands, no extra head.
Right, nothing.
Right,
Like with the
right.
eyeless security that you just showed. Why couldn't Hasbro
Yeah,
throw in a cloak with that? There's enough
yeah,
footage and there's enough resource material that they know the eyeless security did have a rope, and the most infuriating part is they did it with the vintage collection figure. So why couldn't they do that with the Black Series figure? So I think that's where
agree.
the disconnect is, and it's like you're
Yeah,
doing this for GI Joe, you're doing this
yeah.
at sometimes for Marvel, but you're not doing it for Black Series. Why is that? Why is it we can't get a cloak with our Jedi? Why is it we can't get
Or
you
get a
know
cloak that actually fits. That actually
exactly the
makes sense.
one
Yeah,
where the hood's not up here and it's pointed and it looks
yeah.
terrible.
Right. Exactly.
I think that's where the frustration comes in, and it's like then you start seeing that, well, I don't think they're listening, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So
Well,
I
and
agree with
and
Carlos.
sometimes, and to Carlos's point, sometimes a company gets so big,
Mhm.
sometimes a company gets so big, so popular, so much money, they don't necessarily. And I don't. When I say this, I'm not saying this as a man. People, I'm just thinking the chat's like, oh, this guy's a Darth guy. This guy is a. I mean, by whatever Hasbro puts in his face. Not necessarily. I enjoy it, but there are. Phil has a point. Carlos has a point. But I also think that when a company gets that big, they probably don't care as much. You know,
I would agree with that.
what as long as shit's selling, if things are moving, And that's the thing with this community, man. And I'm at fault. We can get pissed off all day, but we still buy it.
Still buy it. It's true. You have a point. That's a very
You
good
know,
point.
we can't. There was no way we're gonna affect change
No.
if we if just one guy says I'm out of the game. Hasbro's gonna be like, nice knowing you. Thank you for your business
Yeah.
while we had you.
I've got
You know,
millions of others that are still in the game. They can sit there and bitch and cry all they want on YouTube, but we're still buying it.
and unfortunately, there's guys in this community that just buy shit just to buy it.
That's true.
You know, there's people in this community that just want to have everything, the latest of it, and they just need to have it. And like back when I used to be a big tech guy, and there was a point in my life where I had to have the latest phone, right? The latest phone, and now I don't really care about that as much as I used to. But I needed, even though the phone that I had was just fine for my needs, the new one would come out 8 months later. I needed another one, so there was no logic behind that. That was all a knee jerk reaction to needing the best and the most right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of collectors out there like that.
Oh, definitely.
There's a
The
lot of
newest
collectors
thing,
out
the
there that are
shiny
all of
thing, whether it
yeah,
be for
yeah,
content, there's times
yeah,
I've bought stuff just for content. Didn't really
just for
give a shit.
reviewing, just to
Exactly.
review it,
Yep.
or to show everybody that you're up on your game,
Yep.
or whatever the reason may be. But we're still giving those dollars over to more Hasbro, and we're telling Hasbro's marketing team what they're doing is working.
That is true. We are giving
Right?
false information. That is true.
Yeah, we're saying one thing, but our dollars are saying something else.
And the dollars speak the loudest.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I know. I was talking. There's this guy out there, Toy Militia, who his targets go on. He has amazing clearances. My targets, I never see clearances.
Really?
I very rarely, and if it does, it doesn't last. And here's why I don't see clearances, because there's nothing ever on the shelves.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll do it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the where I live. The market is maybe overly saturated. I don't know what it is, but where this market, things don't last. So I don't get the opportunity to see things go on clearance, and the market knows it. So if something's peg worms, if those peg worms for 4 years, they're still not dropping them into the clearance rack because they feel like they're eventually going to sell because everything else does.
Right. Right.
You
It
know?
doesn't make sense for them when they're seeing exactly what your point is. Totally valid. If they're seeing everything sell, but I was sitting there like, well, eventually, all this other stuff sold. Lando will sell
Yeah.
eventually. Let's just hold
Yeah.
on to it. And if it
It's all
doesn't,
right,
then
yeah.
we'll back sell it to Ollie's. Ollie's will get it. They'll still make some money off of it. And there you go. You find it
Yep.
Ollie's for $10.
Sure. Yeah, sure do.
Man.
I was going to say, I wonder if maybe I had a couple Ollie's pickles right around me, but
There's tons of Ollie's. I got Lando. I got that General Lando at Ollie's for $10.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I can play the long game on that one. I've got no problem with that at all. So
yeah.
have you found yourself doing that more often, playing the long game, or is maybe waiting for
Not
the
in my,
price level to
not
be
in the,
online?
no. So my long game is things that I say that I'm going to pass. That if I eventually find them on clearance or Ollie's, then because of the price, then I'll say, okay, now it's worth it, so I'll get it. But it may not have been on my list of top 10 things to grab. It might have been not on the list at all, but because I saw it for $5, I was like, I got to get it for $5. I'm going to get it. But on things that I want, or things that are on my top 10 list, no, I don't. I can't wait because I don't live in that market where I get that type of freedom to wait. Things will disappear, and then I end up paying on Whatnot or somewhere else.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get back to a couple more comments here. So, Carlos, I think you're absolutely right here too. Got to just accept the fact windowless packaging isn't going anywhere. It's not about the environment. It's about pleasing shareholders, padding pockets.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
exactly right.
I agree.
It's exactly right. You
It's true.
you lie to the people with something that's not really going on. We all know the story. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Dean was saying that he had a swap with a Lego set. So that's interesting. I haven't actually heard
Wow.
a swap on a Lego
Oh,
set
I
yet. So,
see somebody put dry mac and cheese inside of a Lego box.
oh my gosh.
Dry pasta. Dry pasta, instead of you shake it, and it still
Oh
sounds like
yeah, it
Legos.
sounds like Legos. Yeah, it sounds just
Yeah,
like Legos.
yeah.
Uh,
Dry pasta.
it's insane. Fortunately, he got his money back. Dean, I'm very glad you got your money back. That would have. I mean, I would have been pissed. I'd
Yeah.
been mad. And then Gary's Grails getting too deep into GI Joe. Yes, you and me both, my friend. I've got 4 or 5 more sitting here. So Ed from
I didn't
Riptide
go
fans.
crazy, but I got a pretty decent shelf already on
There
classified
you
when
Nice.
I thought I was going to stay out of it, and I ended up stepping in it.
To me, that's
Really,
the best line Hasbro's got going right now.
it's a good line. It's a good
It's a
line
good
because
line.
then you see their face sculpts haven't been all that great lately.
Well, they fired the guy who did the Great Base Scope, so there
Okay,
you go. That's kind of
I heard
why.
that
'Cause
Flint. I didn't buy the Flint, but I heard the Flint was a fail.
the Flint's
Um,
not terrible. It's the Falcon that's bad. The Falcon
that
is
okay, that's one. That's the
horrible.
one. Falcon.
Falcon's
And then I
horrible.
heard that the Cover Girl, which
Missing arms.
showed that everybody was going to look great. It looked great on PulseCon, and then when people started getting it, they were like, "This doesn't look like what I was promised."
Yeah. I think I'll
Yeah,
be holding off on all those except for the Crimson Bat. That's the only one I have on pre-order. I'm not going to be getting any of the others just due to everything I've seen with that. And it's like, there
yeah,
again, that's what else is great about this community is you find these things out. It's really sad that people have to get this stuff and kind of be the the guinea pigs for all the rest of us to find out. But that is what
yeah,
helps a lot.
yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm with all these issues, I'm going to pass on that figure. I'm going to move along. So yeah, I get it.
But
Nerd of
that's just one or two that I found. That everything else, all the other classified that I got, have been beautiful.
They've been good, yeah, and they're done
Yeah,
well. The only issue, I mean, do you have Sergeant Slaughter?
I do.
Phenomenal, phenomenal figure,
Yeah, yeah,
awesome figure,
yeah,
love it, love
yeah.
that figure.
It's
Yep,
an awesome
yep,
figure. Um, Everything that I picked up recently has been good. The whole Tiger Force.
yeah. You know what? I'm actually not even going to go for the other ones because I love the Tiger Force. I think those were all done really well. I
Yeah,
think,
same. I made
yeah,
the same choice. I'm going to stick to just the Tiger Force 4 versions of all the.
yeah. I mean, I don't. All they're
Yeah,
going to be is repaints anyway, so it's like I don't really need
exactly.
another repaint, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So, hey Archer, nerd affiliated, what's up, man? Guys, if you haven't seen the interview with Hey Archer from last Tuesday, go back, check it out. Awesome, doing great, man. So good to have you here, buddy. All right. Oh, and also Archer's telling us there's a Hasbro sale tomorrow. It's that warehouse sale. Do you guys remember that warehouse sale they had last year?
Oh,
That
I
is
heard
up
about that.
that goes up 9 a.m. tomorrow. So keep an eye out for
Gotta
that.
check that.
Hasbro.
Gotta check that
Yeah.
out.
I don't think I think it's for everybody. If you guys, if you
From
know,
what I
tell me.
remember, from what I saw on the ad, it thinks it's for. I think it's for everybody.
Okay, good. I was hoping that it wasn't just for the Hasbro Pulse members because
Pulse
that would,
members. Yeah.
yeah, that would suck if it was, but I think it's for
Yeah,
everybody.
I
So
think so.
cool. All right, man. Well, good. So we went on a little bit of a Hasbro tangent, but that's okay. I kind of expected that to happen. So,
But
so what else?
but we kept it positive. We kept it
Oh
positive.
yeah, and I think that's what you got to do with the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah,
We could go to negative town all we want, but again, it
yeah.
doesn't really change anything because uh, it doesn't change anything. We're still buying it, like you said. And Paint Sample says just open the latest classified wave, lots of QC issues. Yeah, I've been seeing your posts, man, and
And it's hard in the windowless. Again, we're beating a dead horse, but those windowless makes the QC issues even a little sneakier. They feel a little bit more personal
they
when
do.
they come when they're behind the cardboard, hidden
Yep,
behind the cardboard.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely cool. Um, So let's see what else. So with your group, when exactly do you guys have a time frame when you're going to be making the switch to YouTube, or is that just kind of still up in the air?
That's up in the air right now. Some of us are in transition in our personal lives, so there's things going on there. But I know that we're also waiting for. Um, we're also trying to get a certain amount of followers on Instagram to hopefully then translate those over
Right.
to. We don't want to do YouTube where it's all 10 of us and there's 5 people watching. We're hopefully we can build up enough audience on the Instagram side, and then once that becomes steady, we could say, because with the Instagram side, it's whenever one of us in the group has time to go live. We have our set times, but we'll we'll allow whoever wants to go live in the group of the 10 of us to take the mantle and do it themselves with other members of the group. So not all 10 of us have to be free ourselves to go do and be part of the video.
Right.
But once we have a bigger audience, we want to then all commit and translate that over to the YouTube.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's
we
a good way
want to
do it.
do something a little different than just have like this one-on-one or 2 or 3 people on a YouTube. It's cool. Of course, it's a lot more organized that way. We were wanting to do more of a round table, constant round table, the whole group. The unit is all 10 members, not just one person. And so that everybody can speak to, like, when we have a lot of people in the chat and somebody's talking about classified, we got the classifieds guy. When somebody's talking about Black Series, we got the Black Series guy. When somebody's talking about Marvel Legends, we got the Marvel Legends guy. And everybody can speak to something independently. But of course, some of us we cross knowledge into other lines as well. I, like myself, I'm not just a one. I may have my main line, but I also cross lines. But so we could all share our knowledge like that too. But we want to be more than just like a one unit or dual. We want to be like a group that's talking to another group, and go off on crazy tangents and just trying to be a fun thing more than a scripted interview type of thing. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, Phil. This interview's been great.
No problem. It's not really scripted. I do not script this.
No, we're not.
We go off.
No, we didn't practice at all. I wasn't even. I didn't even know my mic was going to work before this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let me go back to the comments real quick. So Payne Story said he had QC issues with every single figure, and then he's been making some swaps with the G.I. Joe Classified. So, yeah, I think that's just going to be a thing. He's great at doing customs, too. Guys, if you haven't checked out Payne's Toy Samples, go check him out, too. Does a great job. And awesome.
And take your QC issues back to Hasbro. But go back to Hasbro. Hasbro will make it right.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So I got a couple more questions for you, then I'll let you go. So, Grail item. What is your ultimate Grail item, and do you think that you'll ever be able to get it?
What is a Grail item? Okay, so in all honesty, I've picked up a lot of them not too long ago.
Good.
I've been very fortunate to grab some older Black Series figures that I didn't think I was going to be able to find, and then they just landed on my lap, and the price was unbelievable, so I grabbed them. I don't know if there's anything out there that I could say that is an absolute Grail. I have some FOMO on stuff, like I never picked up on never grabbed the Mando ship, the Razor Crest. That I wish I would have, but at the same time, a buddy of mine did, and I saw the size, and I'm like, I don't know where I would have put it.
Right. Yeah, it's
really
size.
big.
It's good size.
Yeah. I will be picking up. I definitely will pick up the N1, the Mandalorian N1 when that goes on. When that comes out, I'll pre-order that immediately. But I don't think there's anything out there that would say that I'm dying to get. Yeah, like I need a 000.
Yeah,
Black Zero's 000. I think that's. Yeah, but that's the thing. And can I get it? Yeah, I can go get it.
Yeah, but
if I wanted to, I could go spend $100-something and go get it.
Exactly.
But I just waited. I've waited because I picked up his little astromech partner, the BT1. I think I picked him up for $40 in box.
Do you have the Afra?
I got the Afra. I got her loose complete for $40 as well.
Wow.
And I got the astromech droid. What is it? BT? I think it's BT1 or BD1. Yeah, I got him for $40 in box. And so all I need is a 000.
Okay.
I recently picked up the. It blew my mind the other day. I was on Whatnot, and because I cruise on Whatnot every now and then I found somebody was selling the Shadow Squadron,
Oh, so hard to
and
find.
they started the bidding at $1 for the Shadow Squadron, and it didn't pass 50. I think I bought it for $57.
Wow, you stole that thing.
I know when it stopped, when the
You
bidding stopped at
stole it.
$55, I couldn't. I was like, no way, this is.
Yeah, usually those are add another 100 to that.
Yeah, but there was like 15 people in the room, and probably nobody felt like spending the money.
Nice.
And I know that I was going to get it because that price is ridiculous.
Very nice. Very nice.
Anything under 100 will
Oh yeah,
go
that's
for it.
great. I remember seeing that at
Yeah,
Target. I never bought it. I kicked myself ever since.
yeah,
Because man, as soon as they were gone, they just
yeah.
went up. Yep.
I probably need that Black Series Tie Fighter. That's probably next on the list for me to find.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you do, let me know. I got a beat on one for you.
Yeah, I got a couple. I got a couple. Price is not so bad. Price is not so bad.
No, that they've gone up. They went way down. I remember I got mine when I had it at like $50, and then they started to shoot back up. But
The Tie Fighter for $50.
yeah, that's when there was like
Wow.
this huge influx of them. Amazon got a huge influx, and they did the warehouse deals. So this
Right.
box was beat to hell. Even the Tie Fighter was a little messed up. It had scratches and a couple little dings
Okay.
and stuff
I mean,
on
these
it.
things are enormous.
Yeah, yeah, it was huge. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah,
And the problem is it takes up too much space.
yeah,
It's so big. It's so big. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, let
but
me see if I could see all the. Can you see all the ships?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You got the Tie Fighter with the Rebellion logo. Nice, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah,
Yep. Legacy Falcon. Nice, very nice.
yeah. Yeah, those are all vintage. I have the only Black Series vehicle that I don't have is that Tie Fighter.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
but most of it is vintage. You know, the 3 3/4 scale stuff because it's easier to hand from my sailing.
yeah, yes. Trying to get those from your ceiling, like the snow speeder. I mean, the snow speeder's not too bad,
It's not
but
too bad.
yeah,
I have that up on top of the D is tough,
nice.
but yeah, some of it gets a little too big.
Definitely. Definitely. All right, man. Well, we're at our time, so thank you again so much.
Yeah,
To give you a chance to plug yourself, tell us where we can find you. We've kind of talked about that, but for the guys that showed up a little later, tell us where we can
sure.
find you, where you're going to be, and just kind of what's going on, and we'll wrap things up.
So I do lives on the dot legacy collectors on Instagram. It's THE .legacy collectors. Um, I do my toy hunts live through there, and of course I'm with my group when we do our Tuesday lives at 6:30 and our Friday lives at 6. That's 6:30 a.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Eastern on Fridays. Um, and then I have my own personal Instagram, which is for just my all my finds and everything that I'm doing in the toy community, and that's at Darthlvj, just how it is on the screen there.
All right.
And thank you, Phil. Appreciate it again. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. All you guys in the chat, thank you so much. Let me go over a couple quick things for my channel. Tomorrow, new toy hunt, Amazing Action Comics. Going to be a long one. Found a lot of good stuff at Amazing Action Comics. So check out that 8 p.m. premiere on that new video tomorrow morning. So guys, join me for that. Next week, I'm going to welcome LeBron Fett. He will be on. The week after, Mad About Toys will be on. So
Cool.
still got a full lineup. All you guys in the chat, so much. Thank you so much for coming in. Darthlvj, thank you again. And we will see you guys next week. You guys have a good one. We'll see you later.
Peace out, guys. Thank you.